Hey, Lunatic. Good to see you back. Yeah, sorry for the snafu. I think what happened was I forgot to select choose new event. I already populated my previous one, which is the Anthropon live stream, and I must have forgotten to choose new event, so it just overrode the previous stuff. No, we're not doing a we're not doing a rerun of Anthropon. uh, like every time I do this, there's always some sort of snafu. But hey, Max, good to see you. Hey, Brimstone. All right, audio good. I want to make sure that's done. That's good before we continue. Yeah. Yeah. It's Labor Day weekend, so I guess I have to do a little bit of labor, right? Okay. All right, good. Audio is good. Alrighty. Without further ado, let's get started. So as the name suggests, I was at Furrydelphia this past weekend, and it was kind of like a spur of the moment decision because, like I mentioned, I was at Anthrocon this year. That's, by the way, it's the furry convention in Pittsburgh, the second largest in the world, and I spent the entire duration there from Thursday to Monday. And so, as you might imagine, I racked up quite a hefty bill between, transportation costs, speed out the con, the hotel accommodations, the food, all that stuff. So, pretty much, I was just going to commit to going to that one con because of those expenses. And so, reluctantly, regrettably, I was like, I'll have to bypass Furrydelphia. I was at Furrydelphia last year. That was the only con that I attended because that was shortly right after all the all the shutdowns and all that for the obvious thing. So then, kind of like earlier this year, I was like, you know what? Why don't I just go down to Philadelphia just for the day? Because Philadelphia is only about like a little over an hour away from me. And like, why don't I just drive down for the Saturday and just chill and hang out? Because take advantage of the opportunity, and because furry conventions aren't every day, as you well know. So I decided to go ahead and drive down there for the day. So I went there on the Saturday. And I'm really glad I did. Now, because of the abbreviated time there, I wasn't able to take my fursuit along and all that. But, it's still better than not going at all. And I'm hoping if everything works well and I play my cards right, I'm hoping to be able to attend both Anthrocon and Furrydelphia next year. Yeah, do the double dipper in Pennsylvania. So that's the game plan. So, yeah. So, yeah, welcome everyone. Glad to see you guys here. And, yeah, let's just go ahead and just tell you about my day at Philadelphia. So, last year, Philadelphia was held at the Valley Forge Casino and Convention Center, which is in Valley Forge, of course, a very notable historic place during the American Revolution. That's where the Continental Army was encamped during that cold winter. And George Washington, of course, was head of the troops there. And so today it serves as a National Historic Park, and it's really worth a visit, especially if you're a history buff. It's a lot of interesting things there, and definitely worth the visit. And it's nearby King of Prussia, which is home to, I believe now, the world's largest enclosed shopping mall. I think for the longest time, the Mall of America in Minnesota used to have that distinction, whereas the King of Prussia Mall was actually two separate malls. But I think recently they pretty much connected the two buildings together. There's the plaza and the court, and then made like a connected walkway. So that was one giant mall. All right, enough of yammering on that. So I'll tell you about my experience. So I got up Saturday morning, just made sure everything's in order, everything's ship shape and ready to go, and pretty much kind of just played it by ear. Did a lot of ad-libbing, kind of left my schedule wide open, no plan, no agenda really. So traffic wasn't too bad. It got a little heavy, like right before we got to Philly. You could hop on the Schuylkill Expressway, which is Interstate 76, and that's where it started getting backed up. But even still, it wasn't too bad. So I ride to Philadelphia around 12 noon, and fortunately, there was a parking garage right off the Vine Street Expressway. Vine Street Expressway is Interstate 676, which pretty much cuts right across Center City, Philly, going east-west. And then eventually you hop on the Ben Franklin Bridge, which crosses into New Jersey and into Camden. But what I did was I got right off there in the Center City, Philadelphia exit. I think it's called like 15th Street or something like that. And then the hotel conveniently is right off of that same block as well. So it was very nice and centrally located. So I had to go up quite a few flights of parking rows in the garage. Like, oh my god, am I ever gonna find an available space? But luckily, I was eventually, I was getting higher and higher toward the top. I was finally able to find a space. So I got out and I, started, recording some footage with my camcorder, and the weather was perfect. They could not have ordered a much nicer day. It was like sunny in the mostly sunny in the mid 80s, low humidity. Yeah, really nice weather. So then, like the hotel, which is the Sheraton downtown Philadelphia, was right next door to the parking garage. So I got there, and bam, I was like overwhelmed. Like as you enter the lobby, it's just fursuiters galore, and I started recording footage and all that. And I was like wondering, and I didn't know where anything was because it was the first time I was in that location. So yeah, so I was kind of trying to find my bearings and all that. So I got the first escalator. And I'm like, I have no idea where I'm going. I'm so lost. That's ironic because, I was just at Anthrocon, which is a million times larger. But going into Furrydelphia, I really didn't know where anything was. So I had to ask somebody, where's registration? And they're like, oh, yeah, it's at the top floor. So then I go up another escalator to the top floor, and then I was able to find registration. And then the process was really simple and straightforward. It just was go ahead and put in my information because I didn't register ahead of time. And then I was able to get my badge shortly after. Well, anyway, so speaking of badges, here's my Stalkaz badge that I always wear to every convention. Yep. And then separately, I got my Furrydelphia badge, and this is just the day pass only. Yeah. Just because just went there for the day, which is nice to be able to have that option. Yeah. So I got that. Unfortunately, didn't have any comp booklets available. I guess they were out of them from all of the people that registered before me. But it was good to show up. Oh, hey there, Narrow. Good to see you. Yes, it is Applejack, and I'll get to that in just a little bit. Yeah. So, yeah, I got there around 12 noon. Registration took about 15 to 20-ish minutes. And from what I've saw, I think that on their Twitter account, they were having some difficulties. Like, the first night of registration was Thursday night, and they had some sort of malfunctions or glitches. So, I think they had, postponed it till Friday. And then, anyway, and then they're having another brief issue. So, they had us, wait in the one line, and then they were able to sort it out, so they had us go back to another line. But in any event, I mean, it still wasn't that bad a wait. So, I got my badge, I'm good to go. So, at that point, so the first place I went to was the Artist Alley, which is right next door to the dealer's den on the second floor. And of course, as the name suggests, is where the artists are. And also, some of the fursuit makers are there too. And so I hung out there for a little bit. And yeah, let me see. I think at this point it'll be a good time to start sharing my pictures. All right, so let me adjust my window. Alrighty, so there's the the thumbnail of the Furrydelphia live stream, and this is this picture. This is right at the lobby, and there's the front counter there. So yeah, and they have a nice logo there, Furrydelphia. There's the mascot. I forget the official character's name, the mascot there, and it's held at the Sheraton, downtown Philadelphia. Now, as I mentioned before, it's a little misleading because I unfortunately was not able to bring my fursuit with me, but hey, I'm in my fursuit now, so it's all good. Alrighty, so it's picture time. So let's see here. Alright, so I took some pictures as I was driving into Philadelphia. This is on the Schuylkill Expressway, Interstate 76. And it was pretty slow going, so it was alright to have my camera on and take some pictures. So yeah, you can see some of the skyscrapers. Like the tall building there on the right, I think it's called the, oh my gosh, my memory's failing me already. And actually, I have Wikipedia pulled up as my cheat sheet to help me, so I make sure I give all the correct information. Oh, what is that building called? Yeah, I have a list of all the tallest buildings in Philadelphia. It's adjacent to Amtrak's 30th Street station. It's a really beautiful train station. I'm a big Kiss Your Buff, and I love trains. And it's a really nice station. I think it was built in the 1930s. It has the old-fashioned concourse, the high ceiling. It's really beautiful if you ever have a chance to visit. Oh, but I believe that's like they use that as offices there. I'm trying to figure out what that building's called. I think it's called. Oh yeah, the Sierra Center. That's what it's called, the Sierra Center. Alrighty. So moving on. Okay. And here, pardon the dirty windshield. I have a chance to wipe it recently, but anyway. So here you can see some of the skyscrapers in the background. Let's see. This building here with the antenna, that's called the Comcast Communication Center. And that was just completed at the end of 2018, so it's a really new building. And this is officially the tallest skyscraper in Philadelphia. Also the tallest in Pennsylvania. And according to Wikipedia, the 14th tallest in the U.S. And then just to the left of that is the Comcast Center, which was the former tallest skyscraper in Philadelphia. And a fun fact is that my cousin, who lives in the same town as I do, he actually works for like this company that helped install the elevators. So for, I guess, about a year or two or so, however long the construction took, he would have to commute down to Philadelphia back, and he helped install the elevators in the building. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then behind those buildings is Liberty Place, which was I think built like in the late 80s, early 90s. And one Liberty Place used to be the tallest skyscraper until the Comcast. Like they keep outdoing themselves. Yeah. You can't really see the first one. There's another view of it. The first one's behind the other building with the point, and then two Liberty Places right next to it. And then that building, the one in front, I have to consult my cheat sheet again, is... let's see, what is that building? What is it? What is it? Oh yeah, the BNY Mellon Center. That's what it's called. This skyscraper here, the BNY Mellon Center. And then these two twin buildings are 1 and 2 Commerce Square. All right. Enough architecture lessons. Okay. So let's move on. Another view of the skyline. I love the Philadelphia skyline. Of course, nothing beats New York City. They have the best skyline, and for good reason. But, you know, I really like Philly's architecture. All right, so this is hopping a little later, but anyway, just I thought I'd get like the skyscraper stuff out of the way, like the generic city stuff first. So, oh yeah, I just saw your comment, Narrow. I'm not turning into a brony, but let me just say, as a horse, I really do appreciate My Little Pony. I love the characters, I love the art style. So, yeah, I'll give you that. All right, so like here's a close-up view of the Comcast Center, which, unbeknownst to me, I thought this was still the tallest building, so that's why I focused on it. I forgot I didn't even know about the Comcast Communications, the taller building. So, yeah, but it's still a really cool building, really nice, and yep. And then here's right outside. There's the sign for it. And fun fact, there's a little mascot character in the background there in that one ad. All right, and then here is a picture of 1 Liberty Place, which was the former tallest building in Philly. Yeah. I was seeing there was a way like to get into like the Comcast Center, because like there was supposed to be like a food court or something in the basement, but all the doors were locked. It was like the middle of a Saturday afternoon and nothing was open. So that was kind of a bummer to me. But I think at the top of the Comcast Center, I think they have like a restaurant there from what I saw online. All right, and then here is the outside of Philadelphia Suburban Station. Which was the former Pennsylvania Railroad station. Now, prior to Amtrak, the main railroad line, like in the Northeast Corridor, we had your Pennsylvania Railroad and then the New York Central Railroad, are kind of like rival competitors. And in Philadelphia, I believe there were like 3 train stations. There's 30th Street Station, which is still used as the Amtrak station. Also, SEPTA uses that. SEPTA is like the regional and subway system, Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority. And Suburban Station is still used by SEPTA, but now Amtrak no longer goes there. And then there's also like the former Market East Station, which is more toward like the old city Philadelphia near Independence National Historic Park, where all like, you know, the Independence Hall, Liberty Bell, and all the old places are. It's now called Jefferson Station or something to that effect. They changed the name, but anyway, so I really like the outside facade. It's very like vintage and old fashioned. And here's a close up. You can see here's the logo, the PRR, Pennsylvania Railroad. It's like the old fashioned 30s font. I just love that aesthetic. Yeah. So the building itself you can't actually enter, or like there's shops there on the street level, but you have to actually go underground to the, and it's like kind of like just like a subway station below is where you catch the trains, kind of like how Penn Station was like in New York City. They demolished like the top floor to make room for Madison Square Garden, and then so like the train station was restricted to the basement. But just recently they opened up a new Penn Station like across 8th Avenue. Where the post office building is, and made like a brand new concourse there, so it's kind of restored to its former glory. Alrighty. And so en route to there, this is, oh gosh, what's the name of this? I'm supposed to remember. Oh gosh, I can't remember the name of the street, and I'm kicking myself for it. But you see the fountains there. That's Logan Circle, or is it called Logan Circle? Oh my gosh, my memory, where art thou? Anyway, this circle, or is it Columbus Circle? Anyways, there's some sort of circle, and that's where the Franklin Institute Science Museum is, as well as the Academy of Natural Sciences. There are two really cool museums there in Philadelphia. And then all along the street on the other side, you can see the flags of all the different countries, all in alphabetical order. So that's really cool there. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's called Columbus Circle. If I'm not, then if it's not called that, then don't hold it against me. Yeah. So there you can see, like, there's Austria, Österreich in German, there's Bahamas. On the other side, you have your Tanzania, there's Switzerland, Thailand, there's Trinidad and Tobago. Was actually there about 3 years ago, really beautiful country. So, and this is facing the other direction, and here is the City Hall building, still in operation, still in use, and at the top is the statue of William Penn. So, yeah, and you actually give guided tours there. Yeah. And then there's the flag of Venezuela there, as you can see. And in the same immediate vicinity, there's City Hall again in the background. There's a nice little thing saying "I love Philly," and a whole bunch of like people there playing in the fountains to help cool off. Yeah. Max again. I'm not officially a brony. I do appreciate MLP. I like the art and all that, but I'm not officially a brony. But yeah. All right, back to the convention. So this is pretty much where as soon as I enter, and as you can see, a lot of people there, some fursuiters, and it's kind of hard to see, but if you look right there, you can see Gil Frostbane's head. Now, I didn't see her at the time, and I'm really kicking myself for that. But like going back at her, I was reviewing the footage after I got home, the video footage. This is actually a screen capture from one video. I'm like, oh my god, it's Gil Frostbane. And I couldn't believe it. Like, I had her captured a camera, but I didn't see her at the time, so I would have loved to have gone up and said hi to her and all that. Yeah, Gil's a big name in the furry fandom, and wife of Strobes, which is also known for dancing, another fursuiter. I saw both of them at Furrydelphia. Oh, I get my cons mixed up. I saw both of them at Anthrocon as well. They both were in the dance comp there. Strobes ended up winning second place, and deservedly so. Really good performer. Now, although both of them were here at Furrydelphia, neither of them were at this dance comp. So maybe they decided to give themselves a break or something. Or yeah. Brimstone. Yeah, Gail is awesome, and I believe she was also a guest on JFET stream not too long ago. I was kind of like gave a rundown on like if they attended your first convention. I gave like a lot of good pointers and tips. Yeah. So. And there's a view from upstairs. And there's like the main restaurant there. Here's the entrance on the left where you come in, and then as you can see, lots of people. Yeah. I like how open it is, the skylights, the natural lighting. All right, and then this is facing the other way. So this is the upstairs floor. This is where the dealers and the artist alley are. Lots of people there, as you can see. And then on the highest floor is where the registration and then the main ballroom, the main events ballroom is. So it's definitely a lot smaller than at Anthrocon at the David L. Lawrence Convention Center. But it's kind of nice, though, because then people are closer together and you have a better chance of seeing everyone. Yeah. All right, and then this is on the top floor. There's the main events ballroom there, and you have your gatekeeper. And then registration would have been off here to the right, off camera, but you can see a lot of cool fursuits around. And so I went around the artist alley for a little bit, but then unfortunately they shut down at 1 o'clock, so the vendors could have like a bite to eat between 1 and 2, like for them to pause for lunch. So understandably so, I knew that's understandable. So I had about an hour to kill. So oh, before I get too far ahead of myself, yeah, now to address what you mentioned about Applejack. Oh, hey there, Gothic. So yes, so one of the artists that I came across there is ooh, can't pick it up. I got their business card. I can't pick it up. There we go. Mighty Muffins. Yeah, artist is Mighty Muffins, and yeah, he's officially a brony. And there's a picture. I have a picture of him that I'll show later on, and really nice guy. And so he had this sweet deal where you get 3 like large prints for $30, and like you can't beat that. I mean, and so. I really like Applejack for some reason. So yeah, I bought 3 prints of her there. And in addition to those prints, he also allowed me to have like a bookmark. So I grabbed a free bookmark as well, 2-sided. Yep. And also a keychain, really nifty. And then also, well wait, there's more. Also a cool button with Applejack and Big Mac. Yeah. So, yeah, super nice guy. And, yeah, so, Mighty Muffins. Yeah, so, I think he's on DeviantArt. Yeah. And, he's also, according to his card, a professional meteorologist and storm chaser. So, kudos for that as well. Yeah. So, yeah, apparently, yep, he has a YouTube channel. And Severe Storm Chaser is the name of that. And he's on Twitter at Mighty_Muffins. So yeah, definitely check him out. Not sponsored. Alright, back to the pictures. Alright, so there's another view of the top floor. Just look at it. I just love that skylight with natural sunlight coming in. Yeah. Alright, and here we are back down on the ground floor. There's another view of Gale Frostbane. Actually, I lied. That first picture I showed of her was an actual picture. This was the screen capture from my video. So there's a better view of her right there. There's Gale. I can't believe I missed her. I'm blind as a bat, as they say. Yeah. There's always next time, so. Alright, and then this fursuiter looks super familiar. Again, I didn't see them until after I recorded the video, and his name is Fluke. Oh my God, Freudian slip. Fluke the wolf, not to be confused with Fluke Husky. Yeah, this is Fluke the wolf. Yeah. Oh, and then here's Strobes himself. So then, what I did was I bought those prints, ran them back to the car, dropped them off, so I had to carry them around the rest of the day. And then came back to the con, and I decided to go live on my Discord VC and enable my camera. So whoever was available at the time, I was like almost like I was bringing along with me. So like I was just kind of resting and people watching, and all of a sudden, nowhere, here comes Strobes. He like literally runs right by me, so I didn't have time to say hi or anything. And then here he is going up the escalator, but I was able to capture a video of him going up the escalator. Yeah. Yeah, super talented dancer, in case you don't know. Hey, Chariot. That's really cool. There's a group photo. I'll be a fun game. Like, where's Waldo? Oh, yeah, where's Waldo? Exactly, like, put out the fursuiter. And if there's any other fursuiters that you recognize I didn't mention, feel free to put them in chat as well. Yeah. But it is really cool. It's almost like a scavenger hunt or like a bing. I just thought of an idea. And, by the way, this is my idea. Patent pending, no one can steal it. How about fursuiter bingo? Like make bingo cards of like different fursuiters, and then every time you spot one, you can mark it off. That's okay. Remember, that's my idea, mine. I just thought of that now, but that would be fun to play, like fursuiter bingo or like a scavenger hunt. Yeah. All right, and then here's just a close-up view of the artist alley. And then right next door to that is the game room, and you have a bunch of like old board games as well as like video games and stuff like that. Yeah. And then here's a view inside the artist alley. And here's Mighty Muffins, the guy in the helmet, and there's this banner there behind him. Yeah, really nice guy and a really cool artist too. All right, so then from like 1 to 2, I had some time to kill, so I was kind of chilling and on my Discord VC, and then all of a sudden I noticed, I looked down, and it's like, oh my god, I lost my con badge. I'm like, oh my god, oh my god. I was like having a little panic attack. So I went over to like the con help desk, you know, and I was asking, hey, I lost my badge, and then they said no one turned one in. So then I went back to the registration room, and then they were nice enough to print me a new badge. So that, you know, kudos to them for that. Really nice. So I was able to get the replacement badge for that. So this is one of the panels. In fact, the only panel I attended, but it was really informative. And this panel specifically was called Furries and Mental Health, and it was very, very informative. And the host of the panel is Blind Wolf. There he is there in the black shirt. And he's a super nice guy. He's from New Jersey, and he actually brought along his therapist along with him, which is nice to have, you know. Let's see. Brimstone says it would be amazing to see Beauty of the Base at one of the events. Would love to meet her. Oh yeah, Beauty of the Base, really awesome fursuit maker. Yeah, in fact, I'll show later. Kyra the Demon has one of the fursuits that she made. Really, I love the design. Yeah. So yeah, so Furries and Mental Health. And there were a few snafus with the presentation. Like, he was expected to have like a TV set, but he had like a projector instead. That little snafu setting it up, and all of a sudden, partway through the presentation, the projector decides to go to sleep. So then he had to like radio in people to help reboot it up again. But it's still a good presentation, and there's just saying that, you know, obviously when you see a therapist, there's a stigma associated with that, but he said there's nothing to, you know, it shouldn't be stigmatized. And you know, being a furry, he's talking about how he had enough courage like to come out, quote unquote, to his coworkers as a furry, and show like his persona and all that. I thought that was really cool, and it's just really, yeah, it's really cool to be able to like to open up like that, and like, open up with family members about your interests, because it's a major part of you, I mean, to a certain extent. But the furry fandom it's a part of who you are, and yeah, it's really important to share that aspect of your life. And he was saying there's some misconceptions that are saying like the cliche of you go into the psychologist's office, you lay on the couch, you know, the whole shebang. Oftentimes it's not like, sometimes you go in person, other times there might be like a voice or video conference, or sometimes it even just text back and forth between you and a therapist. And not all therapists are psychologists either. And he explained the distinctions. Like, you have your psychologists, which is kind of like the people that, you know, do research and kind of like the actual scientists, and then psychiatrists are the doctors that prescribe the medication. And he said it's also important, like, a lot of people are reluctant to go to therapy because they're afraid they're going to be put on medications or be prescribed, and that's not always the case. So it's just, sometimes it's just helpful just to talk to other people. And then here, his guest that he brought with him is a social worker, but it's also a licensed, you know, therapist. So he says like the majority of therapists nowadays are actual social workers. So yeah, so he's just going over what like a typical therapy session is. I did like one time he did like a little role play session of a typical session. Yeah, it's really, really cool stuff. All right, so then I attended that, and then after that was over, I went over to the dealer's den, and so yeah, that's always a high point of the convention. And here's a peek inside the dealer's den. Of course, this is where all the merchants are. They have like the merch and all the different knickknacks and supplies and all that. That'd be part of me. Just one moment. I gotta behead myself just for the time being to give myself a little bit of a breather. Yeah. Human alert. So, yeah. So, hope you guys are having a good time. Yeah. A good time here, and also a good day in general. Yeah, happy Labor Day weekend to everyone. Yeah, give myself a short little breather. Yeah. In fact, let me just get up and stretch a little bit. Whew. Jumping jacks. Exercise. I showed my full fursuit. Yeah. All right. Oh, by the way, in case you guys haven't noticed before, I I got myself some LED lights, so a little bit more sophisticated than the Clark Griswold Christmas lights. You know, Clark Griswold, of course, the character from National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. So, yeah. So out with the old, in with the new. Really nice, and they could change. They change different colors as well. So there's red lights. You have your green lights, your blue, your white, and then like orange. And then yellow. And then like you could do like flashing. The fade kind of like changes from one color to the other. It's really cool. Yeah. There's a switch. I'll switch back to white just so. Yeah. So my webcam doesn't like when the lights change too much. All right, let me just see here. Okay. Alrighty, enough horsing around. Back to work. Okay. Alrighty. So, yep. So here's the dealer's den. And let's see here. All right. And so here's the table where more. Oh my God! I keep doing all these Freudian slips. This is Made For You. They're a very popular name in terms of fursuit makers, and they have a couple notable clients, at least the ones that I know, like for instance, Raiden Husky and Rodney the Doodle Dragon, who was a big profile character, especially for Anthrocon, one of the staff there. Yeah, they're makers, and I like their style. Yeah. So I spoke to the person on the right. I'm not sure who the original owner is, or if they're co-owners, but whatever the situation. But yeah, they're super nice, and of course I asked permission before taking a picture. Yeah, but yeah, so that Made For You was there, so it's really cool to see them in person. All right, so then after I went to the dealer's den, then I was getting kind of hungry and all that, so then that's why I decided to venture out into town and go to downtown Philadelphia. And unfortunately, like just wasn't like any food places anywhere. And I don't know, maybe it was because it was in the middle of the afternoon, but I was thinking, even still, it's Center City, Philadelphia, there still should be, restaurants open. So I ended up going to the subway station or a suburban station, and I ended up getting a smoothie at the one place, and then I went to a 7-Eleven, just grabbed a snack there. So that was my meal. Not the most nutritious, but hey, yeah, at least I had something to eat. So as you can see, a few more cool fursuiters, and then that deer on the left. Not only obviously super cute and adorable, but when I got back, I ate, and then I went back upstairs just to kind of chill and kill some time before the dance competition. And then here, I hop back on the Discord VC, and this deer on the left, I guess it was standing up at the time. He has his arms stretched out, and then comes running toward me. I'm like, oh my God, he wants a hug. And I was like, yay, and he gave me a big hug. And then afterwards, I told him to say hi to Santa for me. So that's a nice comedic moment there. Yeah. I don't know. I always think deer are just super cute. Maybe it's just, the fact that we're both hoofed animals. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I also caught up with Jim Cody. That's him there on the left. It's a big name, and YouTuber. And apparently he's a really good artist and animator, too. Prior to meeting him, I didn't really know much about him, but I've heard the name. But yeah, I got to meet him in person and get my picture with him. Yep, there's yours truly there on the right, by the way, without my fursuit on. I just pretty much like the only picture I took of myself. Yeah. So, yeah, really super nice. All right, and here's the aforementioned deer after he gave me the hug. He was there dancing with this other guy. Yeah. Yep. And there's a few more fursuiters I was able to take a picture of. And here's yet another fursuiter. Yeah, lots of unique characters, unique designs. Yeah. Another one for you. So yeah, the dance comp was always like a must-see event. If you ever go to a con, you definitely want to catch the dance comp. And so that was scheduled from 6 to 8. So in between then, I was kind of just chilling and people watching again, and it was fun. And yeah, here you can see the Lucario. I remember seeing him last year at Furrydelphia. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he carries around that bone that glows there. Oh yeah, this is in the one room where we had the panel, a couple cute fursuiters. Another cool fursuiter there. Yeah, check out this guy with a skeleton. Yep, so there's one hallway on the right side were the 3 panel rooms, and then the left side is the Headless Lounge. And for those of you who don't know, the Headless Lounge is a secluded room where fursuiters go and their handlers to cool off and rest. The Headless, like what I did a moment ago, just to catch a breather, to hydrate and all that. And of course, if you don't know, they don't permit photography in there for good reason. So yeah, just if you ever are around the Headless Lounge, either have to be a fursuiter or a handler, and also when you're in there, never take pictures of video. Yeah. All right, here we have another cool fursuiter. Regrettably, I don't know all their names. Some of the badges you can read, others you can't read from the distance I took the pictures from. All right, and here's I forget exactly his name, but the big bird. I've seen him at AnswerCon too. I really like his his fursuit. Yeah, sassy bird. All right, so as I was waiting, about an hour prior to the competition, I was like waiting in the main ballroom, and I came across Kato, and he's actually the winner of last year's dance comp at Furrydelphia. So I looked familiar, but I was hesitant. It's like I wasn't sure if that was him or not. So I went over. It's like, hey, are you Kato by any chance? He said, yeah. And I said, oh, hey, I remember seeing you at last year's comp. Congratulations on winning and blah blah blah. And then he told me he actually is a judge. He was a judge for this year's dance comp, which I thought was really cool. It's a super nice guy. Yeah. And then here's a view of the stage. So there's Kato again. And off to the right is where the competitors would sit. You kind of had a curtain, of course, concealing them. But they were still setting things up. And so, like, they had the main stage where the DJs are. And then down in the foreground is the floor. And that's where the actual dancers would be. And I believe this is also the location where the raves were every night. Yeah. All right, this is kind of funny. So here's a list of the competitors for the comp, and then here you can see little typos as Furrydelphia 2022 Dane comp finalists. So it must be a separate contest to see who's the best Dane. Yeah. So you can see, like, a lot of them I don't recognize, but Brenda is a big name in the fandom, the Chinchilla. I also saw them at Anthrocon as well. But yeah, no other competitors I was familiar with prior. All right, so this is right before the comps about to start, and there are the judges. So there's Kato on the left. There's Kyre, the demon, who's the beauty of the base suitor, and he actually got second place at last year's dance comp. He also competed at Anthrocon this year. Really, really nice guy and really talented dancer. And then there's Sheila on the right. I haven't met her previously, but yeah. And what the nice thing about what they do is like the host, who's Zattern Husky, she did a performance, and then each of the judges did the performance as well before the comp started. So that was really cool that they did that. Okay. Yeah, so here's it's gonna show a little video footage. Yeah, so this is people still coming in. And I'm hoping to pray that the YouTube gods won't copyright me or take down part of the stream. So I put in citations and all that, so hopefully that'll be kosher. Yeah, so that's the intro. So next one I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show the performances of both Zattern and then Kai's dance performances, and then yeah, so that'll be next. Oh, by the way, there's the DJ. Just an FYI, the game plan is next week I'm gonna upload like my con video, like with all the video and picture footage and all that. And then the following week, I'm going to upload the entire dance comp in its entirety. So this is kind of like a sneak preview of that.
Alright, y'all. How y'all feeling tonight, Furrydelphia? Yeah, I like that. Hey, before we get going, I want to get a little crowd chant going because we're here at a furry convention, and I want to give a little energy to the dancers for the night. So can I get a hoo?
Yeah, yeah, this is like the highlight of my day. I always love the dance comps.
Alright, so without further ado, your host for the night, Zattern.
Yeah, she was a really good MC. I like her energy and her personality. Yeah. Yeah, and bonus points for being able to dance in heels. It's like, Mike, give me Mike. Yeah. There were actually a couple of snafus throughout the competition, but it was still good regardless. Yeah.
Hello.
Alright, let me skip ahead to Kai's performance. Oh.
I want to have a noise complaint, so can you be even louder than that? Like, I want to hear you for you guys tonight. And it was really, really hard to decide to put all these dancers in. So without further ado, I am going to introduce my first judge, Kai.
Yeah. You start the music before he's ready.
Wait till he gets out here. Let him walk first. He can't just levitate over here. Okay, ready?
He always picks spooky music and for good reason. I just like his aesthetic. Yeah, major props, because not only the dancing difficult, as you might know, but we're the, like a digidegrade fursuit makes it even more challenging. Get this. Take a look at this. He lands right on his back. It's like a trust fall without the trust. Yeah. Alrighty. So yeah. So that's like a sneak preview. Like I said, about 2 weeks time I'll upload like the full entire comp with all the performances. Yep. So there's just more pictures. This is prior to the competition. Oh, and yeah, sneak preview. Here's a picture of Toxic, who ended up winning 3rd place in the comp without their fursuit, obviously. And I'll spoiler alert. Like, I'll tell you the results. So there's Max Night Ember, the bear, who got like runner up. Then Toxic got 3rd place. 2nd place was Adondis, which I'll show a little bit, and then the winner was Nyx. And yes, a lot of good performances. But like I mentioned, a couple snafus. So there was a snafu with starting Kara's music a little too early, and then unfortunately for Brenda, the chinchilla I mentioned before, I think I have a picture of them. They were hiding in that box on stage. I don't know if you had a chance to see it in the beginning. They were hiding in that box the entire time everyone was coming in, and then all the judges were performing. And by the time it was time for them to perform, like their leg fell asleep, and so unfortunately they had like cut the routine short. And then the judges were nice enough to let them do a redo. So then Brenda went ahead and came out again at the end of the comp. And then unfortunately the music cut was like the wrong music cut or whatever. So they had to stop again. And unfortunately they had to pull out of the competition just because of the snafu. So I felt kind of bad, but you know, it was still what Brenda did do was really impressive. And then there's another place where the performer after Brenda was this rabbit. Forgive me for not remembering the name. They queued their music up with the wrong music, and it was out of order. And then the one dancer, like a strap fell off, and then they ended up having their one foot came off. And then here with Toxic, it's like hello brain work. Toxic in the middle of their routine, their fursuit head fell off. So yeah, lots of snafus. And then the icing on the cake was throughout the entire comp, next door to here, there's like this rock band that was practicing, and so there's like loud music blaring and loud banging drums throughout. And then it was kind of distracting, but luckily most of the time you don't hear it because of the music here. But like during the quiet parts, you know, you could hear it, and like the Zatter and the host was like telling us, "Could you tell them to turn it down?" And unfortunately, they couldn't do anything about it. But all that, even despite all the snafus, it was still a fun comp to watch and a lot of good performances. So yeah, there's a picture of the dance floor. And it's nice that they let the spectators sit right up against the floor. You got right up and close. Yeah. And yours truly had a good seat as well to take the footage. There's another view of the 3 judges there. All right, and then here's the aforementioned Brenda. Yeah. No, they specifically requested that they did not share the video of their 2 performances, but I went ahead. I did a screenshot just showing who they are, and I'll respect Brenda's wishes. Like when I upload the comp, I won't include her routine or their routines. But I think I'll show this picture just to let them know that they were a part of the comp, and you know, and they actually got an honorable mention too, just mainly because of the snafus and all that. But I really liked the routine despite all the mishaps and challenges. It was a good routine. Yeah. And then this is during the deliberation time when the judges were deciding who the winners would be. So they invite like pretty much not only the competitors but also anyone else up to the dance floor to jam. So yeah, there's the cute. At first I thought it was a horse, but apparently it's a deer. The name is Rav. Yeah. And I think that's another Beauty in the Base fursuiter. The name is Kazoo. I love their suit. Okay, so then let's see. Oh, yeah, so there's Nyx, who ended up winning the competition. Yeah, really Really good routine. And then here's a picture of Adondas. That's just a better picture. He got second place. Yeah, the four-eyed dog. Yeah, he got second place at the comp. Yep. And then just I was hoping to get like a good picture with like with them and their trophies, but then they pretty much like chased us out of the ballroom for some reason. I guess because they were running late, because like these started about 20 minutes late, and then of course some of the mishaps and stuff, it kind of went overtime, and I believe they had to clear out the room, you know, to prepare and prep for the rave. So they practically chased us all out once it was over. So I wasn't able to get that good a picture, but they had just the winners there. Yeah. Yeah, so, oh, looks like that's all the pictures, okay. So, let me, Streamlabs. Alrighty, so let me readjust my window. Let's see. There we are. So yeah, went through watched the dance comp, got a lot of good footage there, and then by the time it was after 8 p.m., so it's getting late, dark for me. So that pretty much I hoofed it out of there, headed straight back home, and so yeah, I really enjoyed myself, and I'm really glad I decided to go, because like originally I was gonna like completely opt out of it. But I'm glad I ultimately decided to go and just chill for the day, and it was really fun. Yeah. Oh, hey there, Shadow Wolf. I'm doing well. Yeah. So yeah, that was my experience at Furrydelphia, and like I said, hopefully if everything goes as planned, I'll be able to attend both Anthrocon and Furrydelphia next year, and that would be awesome. Yeah. And so. Let me see if I'm forgetting anything. Not that I could think of. I think I'll just sit here and chill a little longer. If you guys have any questions or comments, or just about Furrydelphia, or just anything in general, yeah, we'll just sit here and vibe for a little bit longer. Yeah, it seems like snafus are an everyday part of life. Like for the first two live streams I did for the 1K and then for the Anthrocon, like my mic was like switched off to the wrong settings. So, like the first few minutes I was like muted, and then today I thought I had everything squared away, and so I went to like input all the information in my thumbnail, and I forgot to hit like create new event, so it uploaded all my stuff from the previous stream, which is the Anthrocon. And so I have like my YouTube live stream on the other monitor, and like, why is it the Anthrocon? And I'm like, oh my god. So unfortunately I had to stop that live stream and then restart it again. So yeah. Yep, so yeah, the Applejack. I just love Applejack's character for some reason. Yeah. But no, I'm not officially a brony. Yeah. Shadow Wolf asked how long have I been in the fandom. They started last year at the end of November. Okay. That's a really, really good question. Let me see how best to answer that. So I would say kind of like the same lines of when I became a furry, or when I started identifying as a furry. I first found out about the furry fandom, I guess, when I was about 19, when I first started college. And like I already like, you know, Digimon and Pokemon and all that. And then like I found out about, you know, like the fan art online and all that, and like some people were cosplaying. And then eventually I found out about, you know, like people coming up with their own individual characters called personas, and like they come up with fursuits and all that. And that's what I found. I was like, wow, this is really awesome. And it kind of was like, this is right up my alley. I was like, yeah. So at that point, that's when I believe I started identifying as a furry. And I didn't really know it was some sort of like, it's still not really like a collective organization, like a regular fandom with a franchise. It's kind of like organic and self-made. But then eventually, subsequently, like I found out about, you know, the furry conventions and like YouTube content creators and the artists. And so I think it was around 2015 or 2016 when I found out about Majira Strawberry. he was like the first like furry YouTuber I started following. And then later on down the road, I followed people like Picard, Kiwi Fox, Crash Azarel, Odin Wolf, Beta Delota, Stormy the Full, like the big names and all that. And then, so that's when it kind of like was more like, what's the word, like entrenched in the furry fandom, more involved. And then finally around 2020, well, I got my first in October 2019, commissioned from Roofer, by the way, highly recommend. Free shout out for you. And then, it's like I had this fursuit, but I don't wear it out of the house. And like at that point, no one IRL knew I was a furry. It's like, why do I make my own channel and just, just show my fursuit, just put it out there. Yeah. So then, that's when I created my own channel then. And like, I believe it was April of 2020. And that's when I uploaded my first video. And then, I've been making videos ever since. Yeah. Every Saturday ever since. And then that's also around the same time I started drawing and doing all that. So it's a slow, steady evolution. I wasn't like dive in head first kind of thing. It's been a slow evolution. Yeah. Yeah, as you may or may not know that Midwest Fur Fest is coming up. They're generally held like in early December. That's the one outside of Chicago, the largest one in the world. Unfortunately, due to my limited finances, that's just out of the question for me. It would be nice sometime to be able to go out there. It's like one of those things you have to put on your bucket list. If you're a furry, you want to be able to say that you attended MFF, the largest one in the world. But for now, I'm perfectly content with attending Anthrocon and Furrydelphia, and like the majority of my friends haven't attended any furry conventions for one reason or another, so I do consider myself fortunate that I was able to have the opportunities that I've had. Yeah. Shadow Wolf, well, I've just publicly disclosed it before, so no need to apologize. I am bisexual. So you're half right. Yeah. You're hella gay. Okay. That's cool. I think I got up for just one more time just to stretch. My tail always gets caught in the armrest. So, yeah. Rest. Yeah, I'm a lazy horsey. Lazy. Yeah. Photograph me like one of your French stallions. Oh, just by the way, so this location looks familiar. This is pretty much where I do all my filming for my videos. Prior to like the new setup here, this new studio, I did all my filming downstairs in the living room. And then I kind of like this past Christmas season, I spruced up the spare room, make it into my studio, and I really like it. And yeah, so I turned this into the stable studio. Yep. So got the custom lettering, and I got I did drawings of both Stalkaz and Chase, my two personas there, and then I got custom inked. No, Fathead, excuse me. Custom ink is who designed my shirt, the custom made shirt with the Stalkaz and Chase, and then it was Fathead who custom made the wall decals for them, and super reasonably priced. They were quick turnaround, quick delivery, high quality. Highly recommend, not sponsored. So yeah, all you have to do is just upload your art and then send it off, and it's good to go. Oh, I see Shadow here. Yeah, it's an evolution. Yeah. Oh, you can't wait to get your fursuit. Oh, so when do you expect it, or have you commissioned one yet, or are you just hoping to get one sometime? Oh, thanks, Brimstone. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, I really like it. Not to toot my own horn or anything, but yeah. I'm glad that I decided to do it. It was kind of like a spur in the moment thing, because like I've noticed like other content creators and people that stream have like some sort of setup and all that, and I was all right with like downstairs in the living room. But he's like, you know what? I have this spare room that I don't really use. Like prior to now, I just kind of use it as storage. I'm like, hey, why don't I make this like a setup or a studio? So then, like in little by little increments, I got one that got a new gaming PC, new at the time, of course, and you know, knew everything. New gaming chair. I got the day bed, which is super comfy, by the way. And then, of course, I got the custom lettering and the wall decals. And then on the wall has all my furry stuff, So, yeah, I have my... well, I took it down for the purpose of the stream, but like I've hung up my my Stalkaz badge. Yeah. I hung that up, and then also... eventually, I'll hang up the Furrydelphia badge. And then, upside down. Whew, hello. And then, yeah, and then, so there's my Intercom badge, Roofer sticker, the con booklet, this Furrydelphia con book from last year. Oh yeah, here's, this is Furrydelphia's badge from last year. So I got that. And then, oh yeah, Odin Wolf Fan Club. My first con was CCFC, Capital City FurCon in Harrisburg. And it was really nice because it's like only about a 40-minute drive from me. But unfortunately, if you want to know the details, like Odin Wolf was one of the guests of honor, and I was fortunate to actually meet him in person. He explains why it was the first and last time that was held, unfortunately. But yeah, it was really cool. I was able to meet him and Zusha Wolf too. And so, yeah, I got that sticker. And yeah. Oh yeah, there's a cool Intercon sticker I got too. So, in case any of you guys haven't seen the live stream of the Intercon, that's up on my channel, as well as the content. Like I have con footage from there. I did the opening ceremony, closing ceremony, dance comp, all those. I've uploaded all of them to my channel as well. And then just to let you guys know again. Oh hey Gothic, I just saw your message. Sorry I didn't see it sooner. Yeah, good to see you. So yeah, so next week as well, I'll upload the comp footage from here for Furrydelphia, and then the following week I'll upload the dance comp footage. Yeah, definitely worth a watch. Definitely 100% worth a watch. A lot of good competition, a lot of good competitors. Yeah. I hope I can get one. I want to look like my profile. Yeah, I hope you get one too. Yeah, that would be cool. I'm not on TikTok. It's not exactly my forte, not my cup of tea. Mainly because just the way I am, I'm not very spontaneous and off the cuff. Like I like to pre-plan and prepare stuff ahead of time. I like for the majority of my videos, like I do outlines. Like I don't like read off a script verbatim. I do like an outline to have these like structured and organized, so I can gather my thoughts, because I'm not very well spoken when I'm on the fly, and so that's the main reason why I don't do TikTok. But here's like a really good platform, especially to get traction and exposure. And ironically, just the other night, I was joking around. Apparently, there's this user TikTok named Stalkaz, same spelling, but it's not me. It's just FYI, it's not me, and it has nothing to do with the furry fandom. Like I think they have like this old-fashioned footage of like it's kind of morbid stuff. Like they have like carrying people in body bags and stuff, but I have to give the props. They have really good taste in music. Like they had. Like old-fashioned 80s music, and like the one song they used was Rebel Yell by Billy Idol. Like that's a good song. Yeah. So props for the music. Max, I know it sounds stupid of me to cut some of my hair off, but I'm just curious to see how long This match color return from the top of my head. Unfortunately, I don't know anything about hair design or hair care. Oh, you're having to dye permanently. Okay. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. If anyone in chat knows anything about that, yeah, feel free to answer. Yeah, chill just a little while longer, and then I'll gallop off into the sunset. The thing is, for those of you who have never attended a con or just have attended like one or so, I think I just learned from experience the best thing to do is, hey, awful gamer, the best thing to do is just try to have fun and just make the most of it. Like obviously you might have some like an itinerary or an agenda or plans, but for the most part, try to be as flexible as possible for your own good. Like because you know how things can be subject to change. Things change all the time. There's always unpredictable things that happen. So just try to be as flexible as possible and just go with the flow, roll with the punches, whatever cliche you want to use. That's just the best way to enjoy yourself and have fun. Yeah, and don't put too much pressure on yourself. Yeah. I had to wait for 6 months or a few years. Okay. Brimstone asked, do I like any video games? Yes, as a matter of fact, I do. Now, I'm old school. The only console I own is an SNES, that's Super Nintendo Entertainment System. And unfortunately, you can't connect that really with any sort of capture device, or you can't connect it online unless you get like an emulator or whatever. But I actually did post a few videos on my channel when I did Tetris Attack, one of my favorite games of all time. It was really fun and addicting. And Tiny Toon Adventures Buster Bust Loose, I did a playthrough of that as well. In the future, I might do some more playthrough games just for the heck of it. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. And then as far as online games, the only game I play is Among Us. Yeah. Yeah, as I mentioned earlier in the stream, like as you probably know, cons can be very expensive, but like sometimes people might, get roommates, share expenses. That's a good way to defray costs. For me, I just got my own arrangements just for different reasons. But and then I had to take the Pennsylvania Turnpike to get out to Pittsburgh, and oh my god, that was a hefty bill. It's nice now that they do the bill by plate, which they take a picture of license plates when you go both on and off the highway, and then you get a bill in the mail. And it came about a month later. I was hoping they would have forgotten, get a free ride, but no such luck. The bill came. And would you believe it cost me $97 freaking to go between Harrisburg and Pittsburgh and, back. It's crazy. So when I went to Furrydelphia, normally when I go to Philly, I hop on the turnpike, but you go to east, other direction. But I decided to take all back roads to avoid the toll. And so the first part of it, you go through Amish country in Lancaster County, but then once you hit Route 30, it's pretty much smooth sailing all the way over. And then when I was on the highway, I think it was between Coatesville and Downingtown, there's these crazy lunatics. I was on the highway on the right lane, and then all of a sudden this one truck goes around me onto the shoulder of the highway. And I thought, and we were approaching an exit, so I thought maybe he was just anxious to get off the highway. Here he passes me on the right, cuts in front of me, and then immediately swerves over to the passing lane on the left and weaves in between cars. I'm and not only did that one truck do it, a couple other people behind did the same thing. I'm these people are insane. It's real life Super Mario Kart. Yeah. Yeah. So the newsflash: don't drive like that. Don't do that at home. It's a no-no. Okay, Brimstone has an N64 and PS6. Or excuse me, PS5. The PS6 doesn't exist. My bad. Woo! Hello. Yeah, N64 and PS5. Okay. Shadow says, I'm scared to tell my parents that I post videos on TikTok, but they are okay with it. But me telling them that I'm gay, it's never going to happen. Yeah, totally understandable. Totally understandable. Yeah. I hope at some point, preferably and ideally, it'll be good to have the what's the word I'm looking for? Be in a position to be able to share that, but sometimes that probably isn't an option. Yeah, it's just. All right, folks. It's pop quiz time. Take out your pens and pencils and get ready for the quiz. No, just kidding. Just kidding. There's no pop quiz. No need to freak out. Just kidding. I'll take a couple extra minutes just for some last minute questions or comments, and then yeah. I got you there, didn't I? Come on, admit it. I got you. Do I play Forza Horizon 5? No, I don't, unfortunately. Yeah, the only real PC game I play is Among Us. Yeah, and then the SNES games. Yeah. I'm old school. All right, without further ado, thanks everyone for joining and watching the stream. I had a lot of fun. I'm glad I decided to spur of the moment to hop on down to Furrydelphia, or I should say trot on down to Furrydelphia for the day. It was a lot of fun. And hopefully I'll be able to return and this time spend the whole weekend down there. And yeah, appreciate everyone for tuning in. And like I said, stay tuned. Next Saturday I'll have the con footage, and then the following Saturday will be the dance comp. So yeah. Until then, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe.